I am very pleased today to be standing in front of you to talk about some extraordinary measures that we in the city have put together to eliminate or stop the public nuisance that has become a number of corner stores. It has been brought to my attention through the good works of community groups and neighborhood groups that corner stores have become a scourge to many of our neighborhoods. And while we have been actively pursuing tools such as nuisance abatement and certificate of use, I felt it was important that we try to utilize all the tools that we had. And so with that, about 2 weeks ago, I put together a team of people in City Hall to look at what we could do to address this problem quickly. And we came together with a coordinated operation that I put in place this morning. We have targeted 10 corner stores throughout the city. We came up with a list of 10 by looking at our crime data and also the information that was given to us by neighborhood groups, as well as information related to who had filled out and completed certificate of use forms. So with that, we put together our list of 10, and we had a team that this morning started going to some of these corner stores to do inspections. As I speak, they are still currently doing inspections. Let me just say that we sent out a building inspector, an electrical inspector, a fire department inspector, a deputy from the fire department to also look at fire safety, and also a deputy chief of the police department. They started off this morning with going to Delaware Market, and they found in short order at Delaware Market that there was a gas leak, a sewage problem, a fire hazard, and they declared it, they shut it down immediately and called National Grid. They next went to S&R Market and found at S&R Market that they similarly had a fire hazard, and it was unfit for human habitation. They had a number of electrical issues, including that they were running an extension cord from the store to a neighbor property. Next, they went to the Food King Market. And the Food King Market similarly had fire hazards and electrical problems. It also had an illegal apartment that was unoccupied. They were given similarly a 24-hour notice to shut down. Next, they went to the Midland Discount Market, which I am told may also be operating under the name of IBB Market. There, they similarly found fire hazards, uninspected and uncertified fire suppression systems, and electrical problems as well. They next moved on to the South Mini Mart, where they found an unoccupied illegal apartment, sewage backup, fire hazards, and electrical work. While I was briefing some of the folks behind me, we got a phone call that they had also issued a 24-hour shutdown notice for the Lexington Market, and I am not able right now to tell you exactly what the grounds were for the Lexington Market, but as soon as we have those, we will share those with you. And as part of your press packet, you have the letters that have been sent, as well as a breakdown of the violations. Each of these properties and the property owners were told that they have to comply with these codes, rules, and regulations by August 8th. Given the severity of what we have found, it is highly unlikely that they will be able to comply by August 8th. We will be moving in court to enforce compliance on these property owners so that we will have court documentation. As part of this process, I spoke to the county executive and told her, given the sewage issues at a number of these properties and the fact that they were selling food, that I had a concern about public health, and she agreed, and she has given me the assurance that the Commissioner of Onondaga County's Public Health Department will be involved in making sure that if and when these stores reopen, that they meet the highest requirements of the health code. We have also been in touch with the Onondaga County Plumbing because a number of these institutions, as I said, also had sewage problems, which deals with the Onondaga County Plumbing certification. Most of these stores that I have talked about have been operating without a certificate of use. And so I have also instructed the Corporation Council that when we move to petition the court for full compliance, we are going to ask the court to mandate that each of these stores fill out and meet all the rules and regulations governing the certificate of use, along with public health, public welfare and safety, so that we can make sure that this does not happen again. I want to, before I thank our partners and open it up to questions, I want to say a couple of things. We in the city have a number of tools that we have used to try to deal with these nuisances that corner stores have caused neighborhoods and our city at large. But it became very clear that the tools that we were using were not strong enough to deal with what has become not just a nuisance, but public health and public safety. And through the cooperation and looking at all of the innovations and tools that we have been able to take the resources of the city government and today shut down these corner stores which have become a scourge. And I am also happy to say, as I phoned people after the first 5 of these corner stores were shut down to tell them that we had done this, that word had spread quickly throughout the neighborhoods, and they knew that this was happening and that they were thrilled to hear the good news and see that work was actually being done on an issue that they care about. I want to thank and recognize a number of our partners. As I've said many times, people think that when you're the mayor you are all-powerful, but the reality is you can only do the kind of work that you can do if you have good and strong partnerships. And those partnerships are here behind me today. I want to thank Syracuse United Neighbors, Phil Preen and Rich Pachowski, who have been never-ending in their calls to make sure that we focus on this problem that impacts the quality of life of the people of the city of Syracuse. I also want to thank Councilor Hudson, who has joined with them and has been a fantastic city councilor in representing the interests across the city, in particular these. Councilor Bay could not join us today. He has also been a constant and vigilant voice about making sure that we are innovative and using all of our resources available to stop the scourge at his corner stores. Councilor Bay is currently in the emergency room with what he thinks is a broken arm, and he was so excited by this news that we didn't even get a chance to talk about how he broke his arm. So you can understand the kind of devotion that Councilor Bay has to this issue. I also want to thank Walter Dixie, who is here. Again, another voice about the quality of life in our city. And finally, I want to bring to the podium Sharon Owens, who, as most of you know, recently became the new executive director of the Southwest Community Center. The Southwest Community Center is a vital and important institution in the city. And as part of her role and leadership there, she has jumped right in with issues that not just affect the community center in particular, but that neighborhood at large, and this was one of the issues. So with that, Sharon, let me turn the mic over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. This was an issue that many of us came around the table to address, and we want to thank the mayor for hearing us, not only hearing us, but acting upon it. As we've mentioned before, when we met with the mayor and in community meetings that we've had, this is not an anti-business message. This is a bad business message. That we welcome business in neighborhoods across the city that are vital economic engines for the fabric of our neighborhoods, not only central downtown, but the neighborhoods that cross this great city of ours. But we also want good businesses. Business at all costs is not good business. So we welcome and thank the mayor and her administration for the research and the action that they're taking today. And as we move forward, we'll continue to be partners in this effort. And we thank all of you in the community that continue to make all of us abreast of what is going on. After many of us go home and you're dealing with gunshots and you're dealing with activity that's going on outside of businesses in your community. So this is just the beginning. We're going to move forward on this. We're going to stand united on this. And again, we welcome good business. This is not an anti-business initiative or message. It is a prosperous business in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. You can see why she's such a great leader. Let me just say that I neglected to also point out our Corporation Counsel, Marianne Doherty's here, who has now taken the good work that Ken Towsley, the Director of Code Enforcement, has led, and it's now officially going to go into her lap for enforcement into the court proceeding, as well as our partners from the county legislature, Monica Williams and Linda Urban, who have also joined us here. I think you can see from the people who are standing behind me what an important issue this is, the quality of life, and how it cuts across all of our neighborhoods and all of our communities and through all of that leadership. So with that, I would be happy to open it up to any questions that anybody has.
Mayor, in the best possible, in the best possible world, what's the effect of this? Do these stores clean up their operations, stock their buildings with more fresh food and vegetables and reopen, or do they go away? Then what happens to the buildings? What happens to the neighborhoods?
What happens is that these bad businesses become good businesses, or they make a very conscious decision that they're not going to do business in the city of Syracuse, because we are no longer going to have businesses that sell food without regulations, that are a nuisance to public safety, to public health, and welfare. So the best possible course of business, or the best possible outcome, I should say, is that these businesses realize that they have neighbors, a mayor, a county government, a city government that is not going to allow them to be scourges to the neighborhood. That they are, if they're welcome to do business in the neighborhood, if they meet the standards, rules, and regulations that govern public health, that govern public welfare, that govern public safety, and rules and regulations.
Can you talk more about the public complaints that you were getting about some of these stores?
Sure. Well, you know, these stores, a number of these stores have become havens for violence, for unsavory activity, and have simply become nuisances to the neighborhood. And while we have shut down a number of them and gone after them successfully under the nuisance abatement process, it simply was not happening quickly enough for a lot of these stores. And frankly, a number of these stores that we had on our list today ignored what we had told them to do or what they needed to do, and were flagrantly saying, we're not going to comply because we don't have to, and you don't have the energy or the intensity to go after us. And I think today we have proved them wrong. Yes.
How long of a continuing process will this be? Is this a one-time sting, or?
No, this is going to continue on. This is our first wave. As I said, that as you have come to know about my administration, we do things in a new and different way, and part of being successful in doing that is doing things in stages so that you can work out the kinks. But this is the first wave.
If a laundromat was busted today for drug laundering, is that a concern among stores like this as well? Do you think that's a more widespread problem than one laundromat?
Well, that concern rests squarely with public safety and the police department. Part of the issue that we've had with corner stores is that they sort of go across different disciplines. So there are police issues, there's fire issues, there's public health issues, there's electrical issues, there's safety issues. And so what happens when you have all of these different issues is nobody kind of takes charge of it. And we decided we were going to take charge of it because all of those responsibilities are ultimately city responsibilities. And I'm pleased to say that once again, when I called the county executive and shared with her that some of these I thought also ran over into the county's responsibilities, right away, as she always does, she said, we will stand with you and make sure that together we are an enforcement mechanism. So the issues that were brought up today in that particular case are squarely police issues. The issues that we're talking about today go from fire codes to police to public health and public safety.
Mayor, you mentioned how news of this crackdown spread through the neighborhoods. Have you or has anyone else gotten any feedback from community members? Just what is the sense in these neighborhoods where this is happening?
Well, I will tell you what I have, what I've heard, and then I'll ask Walt to talk about it. Everybody, when I started making my phone calls, and look, we did this in a very deliberate way. We wanted, we didn't have a press conference before, we're not on the grounds, we wanted to utilize the city resources and the city manpower to go and do the good work of the city. And so when I called this afternoon and started telling people about what we had done, they were thrilled, and they already knew about it. And they said, we were calling people and saying, we saw the placards, we saw people up, we saw it shut down, we saw 24-hour notices, and not just at one place, but at multiple places. And so it would not be an exaggeration to say that people were thrilled, very happy. And then shortly thereafter, my office started getting phone calls and emails about other corner stores that they wanted on that list. So for me, as I said to the folks behind me, that is a very hopeful sign, because that means that people believe in their government and they think that their government and the city and the county are forces for good and can improve quality of life in their neighborhoods, and they believe in the city and their neighborhoods. And in this case, they believe in their government. So Walt, you want to talk about?
I'll just say quickly that today Anna Morris has a beauty salon on the corner of Midland and, is it Castle? Colvin. And she was at a meeting a month ago when we invited the mayor to the meeting to talk about these issues. And we were talking about one particular store in our neighborhood, but she wanted her feelings about a particular store in her neighborhood. So she was excited that she called me, and she knew before I knew, and she was so excited. The first thing she said, now I have to pick up the litter in front of the building that comes into my establishment. So, you know, she's on the phone, she's like, what can we do about price rights? I'm gonna put a plug in for price rights. I said, we ought to get price right in our neighborhood. But yes, I'm sure that what's good about that is the quick reaction, Mayor. We all appreciate the quick reaction from your team to address this issue, to make this community know that government is working, it hears the little people. We felt, we heard you, heard our pain, and this is the action that we want. Those who want to be bad actors, citizens, they're part of the problem as well, and that would be dealt with. So this is about good actors, neighborhood folks want peace of mind, and I'm proud of the work you've done today.
Thank you, Walt. And I want to just say about that, you know, that this is the result, and continuing on the streets of the city right now are a number of our inspectors who are going to the last 3, I guess it is, or 4 of the top 10 that we had identified. This is the result, an ongoing result, of a lot of very dedicated city workers who were committed to making the neighborhoods better and stronger for the people who live there. So while it may start with the mayor, it starts with me saying, we've got to address this problem, then I turn and say to the Director of Code Enforcement and Andrew Maxwell, Planning and Sustainability, how do we do this in a way that we're going to be effective for the long term? This is not about smoke and mirrors and just having an announcement. This is about a sustained change and adding another real tool in our toolbox to fight this.
Mayor, can you talk about the certificate of use and
Sure.
what that entails?
The certificate of use is a regulatory tool that we use to regulate corner stores. There is a reapplication process where you go by and you have to reapply every 2 years, I believe. Part of that process is inspection, and part of it is an application fee. And it is a tool that and I supported it when I was on the city council, that we felt at the time could be used to help steer off some of these bad actors and these bad businesses. And what we have found is that if you are a creative bad business owner, we can spend months chasing you in order to get you into the certificate of compliance and then to be able to enforce it. And so for what we were dealing with right now, we felt like it wasn't the strongest tool that we had. It is still a tool that we have and that we're going to use. But as an example, of the 10 corner stores that we went after, only 1 of the corner stores had an active certificate of use.
Were they all paying their taxes?
Yes.
Do you know how many corner stores that fit this definition are in the city?
I do not, but somebody in my staff does. Too many probably is the answer. Is there anybody else? All right, thank you all very much. Have a good afternoon.